Hello and welcome to another episode of Wrong Ones. We just thought we should play that clip at the beginning of this podcast because it's a viral clip. It's a clip that has gone around the world and it's made Tim Payne want to eat his words and hope he never touches a player ever again because it's not really played out very well for him, has it? After that, we have witnessed probably the greatest Indian Test series ever, the greatest Indian Test series win ever, architected on the last day by our favorite player. But we will come to all of that and more. Um, so yeah, Kabir, Noor, initial reactions. How do you feel after winning? Does it feel real as yet?
No. How did we win? I am so confused. I till date cannot figure out how we won, but I'm so happy. Like, I'm in shock, and I think Kabir really, truly, even though we draw the game, should do the love letter to Dhoni because the draw was
For
as good as
all
the win.
for all those who are wondering, Noor has decided to take a celebratory holiday in celebration of India winning this series. That's what this is. That's why she's at the
Yeah.
beach.
I literally was
Yeah,
like, Rishabh Pant, 4. I was like, get on a flight to Goa.
Yeah, there we
Good
go.
do this.
yeah. I mean, for me, I think I talked to Ahaan about this, or I messaged him just before the last day, when I was like, look, if we, what I said something about like how if we win, it'll be our greatest test series
He
ever, and
said
if
there's
we,
no way we're winning this. We're going to lose or draw. Just by the way. That's what he said before the last
yeah,
game.
I did think we were going to lose
And
or
I told
draw.
him, no, we're winning this.
Yeah, okay. I told Han that my heart said that we will win and that my head said that we lose or draw, which I feel is like reasonable. And the fact that we won in the end is just incredible and a testament to the grit and the determination, the perseverance, resilience, all the words that you want to use for that of this Indian team. Something I've never seen before, sort of in an Indian team as such. And yeah, I mean, just wow.
I think the greatest stat to show all that is at the start of the last test, the Australian bowling attack had 1,013 wickets, 1,033 overall if you count Smith and Labuschagne, and the Indian attack had 13 wickets, out of which two were Rohit Sharma. So I mean, that is what we were up against. Can you imagine 1 year ago? What if 1 year, like 4 months, 4 weeks ago, even saying that your bowling attack in a test match would be Shardul Thakur, T. Natarajan, Mohammad Siraj, Washington Sundar, and Navdeep Saini.
Yeah,
With
who
the
on
injured
his
Saini, with
who
the
got
injured
injured.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think I don't know. We're not sure how actually to analyze this and how to go about this, but I think we're going to go through this test by test, which means that we're going to have to start with probably the worst.
Yeah.
And the fact, actually, in some ways, what happened at the beginning kind of made it better. What happened later, because I remember, I'll tell you, I said I can, I'll hold my hands up. I said if India lose at Adelaide, they're going to lose 4-0. And I said this on this podcast. So, I mean, after 36 all out, I was all ready for the worst. Kabir, anything you have to say? What do you think was the game
Yeah,
change
man.
in
Dude,
that?
I thought we were screwed. I actually thought that like with 36 not out, we'd be screwed for the rest of the series, losing Virat. Um, just basically, I thought that we can't just implode after that, and that our batting wouldn't really get much better. We would uh, struggle to get 300 plus scores, sort of based on the performance that we had, and the way the Aussie fast bowlers were bowling as well. I thought the Stark looked amazing that first test. Their speeds were really, really up, and to be fair, they were up for most of the seas actually. Um, Cummins and Hazel were obviously brilliant. Um, and yeah, I just thought if the series went on this way, we'd be screwed. But more than anything, um, yeah, I guess it was just that like it was just a prelude for the main show that would come in Melbourne and Brisbane.
Noor?
Yeah, I think the first match was like heartbreaking, wasn't it? I remember like I woke up a little late and the innings was done. I was like, what? I was like, "Ye kya hua?" I was like, what happened here?
Yeah,
But we were winning that game until the second innings. Like we were on top.
Honestly, I think
And now,
we threw that game away, not even
yeah,
under
no, I agree.
36. Like the number of
I
catches we dropped in the first innings of like Labuschagne and even with 36, we there could have we could have been in a position that even after getting 36 all out, we could have had a lead of 150, and we probably should have been in that situation. But
Yeah.
Yeah, true. No, I agree. I think there were a lot of issues with the game. Obviously, the 36 all out was the worst, but like catching's been a problem for both teams throughout the series. We'll get to that obviously. But for me, like this is why I love Test cricket. It's why Test cricket is the best format of cricket. It's because you can lose. You can literally be a global laughing stock on one day, lose half of your team, and that's what happened. We lost half of our squad. We asked people who didn't even play. K. Rahul got injured. He didn't even play a game. And then like we lost half of our squad, and then we came back and we won. And we didn't just win. Like we dominated the last
we
game.
we, we breached the fortress.
Yeah. The thing is, it's really hard to
We fought that
emphasize.
best match, and we dominated the 25th match.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to emphasize to a lot of people. If you don't really know cricket, it's really hard to emphasize sort of the difficulty of winning a test series like this, and especially with the context around it. In fact, one of the podcasts I listened to, shout out, pardon my take, they mentioned as well for sort of the first or second time they mentioned cricket in their podcast ever, and it's just one of those things where like you have a team that sort of pretty much lost the entire first team, bar Pujara and Rahane, and then came back from probably the worst batting performance in their history against one of the best bowling attacks in the world, one of the best bowling attacks this country that they're playing against has had at home. I mean, away from home for India, but at home for Australia. And then to come back and win through all these injuries, which kept going on throughout the series. It's hard to like really put that in context, and I just think that
I have one. For all those who
yeah.
watch football, it's basically like United losing 6-1 to Spurs and then going to Anfield with no Pogba, no Bruno Fernandes, no De Gea, no Maguire, no Rashford, and still winning like 3-0.
You know what? I still don't think that that's the same, because think about the history behind it. In that this in well, only two Asian teams have, or sorry, no, two series have been won by an Asian team in Australia, and obviously those two times have been India. These last two series that we played in Australia, but even then, that context is ridiculous. I mean, people have won at Anfield in the last 30 years, right? Nobody's won at the Gabba in the last 30 years.
Yeah, Gabatwa,
Yeah, exactly.
all that nonsense. Anyway,
We broke the fortress, yeah.
I
We
think
broke into the
I think for
fortress
me, for the
of
first test match, just
cricket.
before we move on to the happier times, I think for me the key, for me, even though it's a bit early, I think one of the key moments in that was the Kohli run out, because honestly, Kohli looked so good in that first innings. He could have gone on to get 100 easy, 120, and that would have set the game up. And then he got run out, and I think that was just, it was just not a good moment. And then it kind of said it gave them back. Our tail collapsed, and then also our team selection that in that test was a bit odd. I mean, why were you playing Saha and why were you playing Prithvi Shaw when you really could clearly see he was out of form and he was not. Anyway, it is what it is.
You couldn't see the ball.
Yeah, moving on to the second test match. This is where it all started, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The comeback. So I'm going to ask about this a little differently. So Kabir, for you, what was the moment of that match?
God, the moment of that match. Actually, the moment of that match, the thing that brought Australia's innings and I think the match crumbling down was Steve Smith's duck. That duck, I think, really deflated the hopes of the Australian team to try and get on top and dominate. The guys in their team got starts and stuff, but having seen how we sort of fell apart the test match before, they felt like they would have a larger upper hand than they did, and to lose their best batsman in that sense, I think definitely had an effect on them psychologically and also obviously on their team score.
Yeah, so Noor and I were actually on the golf course that morning, the first morning when the wickets were being taken.
Practicing hard, Ahaan?
No, I don't need to practice, bro. Don't worry, not for you. Anyway, yeah, Noor, what for you? What was the key moment?
I think Steve Smith's wickets up there, but I think Jinx's 100 set the game up. I think that was like psychologically a big win for India. And I also think it was a big win in terms of the Rahane and how he wanted to captain. He led from the front. I don't think Rahane like you can't blame Rahane for the fielding of the team, but I don't think Rahane made a single mistake as captain, starting with the century. He led from the front, he did well. So I'm good. Like I think he was brilliant, and I think he deserved that century more than anything. I mean, guys, imagine losing like 36 all out. That's how many runs Yuvraj Singh made in one over in the T20 World Cup. Okay.
Yeah.
Our entire team did as many runs as UV in one over of a T20 World Cup. Guys,
Yeah.
so
When you put it
you
like
know,
that,
that's
it's
why
quite disgusting.
it's horrible. It is heartbreaking. And so I think when Jinx came and made 100 runs, I think it was just it was a big statement saying we might be down, but we're not gone. Like we are still there. We're gonna fight. We might have lost our captain. We might have lost our best batsman according to loads of people, but we're still not. We're not gonna
No,
be
I
just
don't think it's
swallowed.
debatable. We did lose our best batsman. He wasn't there.
I agree, but he wasn't there. But I don't think Virat Kohli's form has been superb in the last.
Come on, you ask
Still,
Australia who
that's
is the
70
one
orders.
batsman you take out of India. It would
Yeah.
be
I would
Virat
take
Kohli.
Virat, but guys, he didn't bat that well.
He got a 74 in the
He
first
made 70 in
innings.
the first. Yeah, come on.
But overall, he's not making the big 100. It's not his best year. Even he admit this is
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It
2020.
hasn't been
Yeah,
his best
okay,
year.
obviously, but I mean, you're saying that's like saying it's the.
Say no, he's the best batsman. Guys, fine. I mean, he shouldn't have done that. I'm just saying the emphasis people gave to Virat, even us, even before in the last podcast, I didn't expect this team to do well without Virat Kohli, and now I'm realizing the depth of us cricketing as a cricketing nation.
Yeah,
What our
I
depth
think
is.
no one expected this
I mean,
depth.
we can talk about what is Virat actually the issue. I mean, I'm talking. I'm just.
Okay,
We'll
well,
talk about
I'm staying away from that conversation. We will maybe touch on it at the end, but
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that right now because it's a slippery slope down there. Anyway,
No, but I think it's something that needs to be discussed anyway.
we'll discuss it at the end. Let's discuss the test matches first. Anyway,
Yeah.
so for me, I think the key point was again that Rahane Jadeja partnership because I know although Pant played well, he got a good 29. He changed the tide a little bit, but I think we needed to get a lead of at least 100, 110 runs, and that's what that partnership allowed us to do. I still think we could have got a much higher lead. I don't think our batting was great that test match either, but it was pretty good, and I was pretty happy. And I think it was key for Rahane because till then he had been there was I know before the series there were a lot of doubters saying that Rahane hasn't really scored runs and now he's going to be captain. What the hell? Like how is he going to cope? What is going to happen? So I think the fact that in the first innings as captain he went and scored 100 was really important for him, and it was really important for for giving the team confidence in their leader and what he was doing. And I think that is what was important. So yeah.
Also,
100%.
guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but Gill made a 50 that game, right? He made his
No. That was in the second test match.
second test.
I mean, like his second test match, the third of the series.
Second test.
But he batted really well. He looked early.
Yeah. He looked good, right?
He made 40 odd. He made 40 odd.
40 odd, right? He made 40 odd.
45
I
and
think
30
that was
not
a big
out.
thing.
45
Yeah,
and
I
30
think
not out.
Gill's 45 was also a big thing because we were playing with Prithvi Shaw who was getting out of dust. So I think the 45 Gill's 45 was also good because finally we had something to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the second test match. Now moving on to the third. Just prior to that, since we had this conversation before the test match was happening, we all were a bit disappointed, I think, in the fact that Mayank Agarwal was dropped in the way he was, and they played Rohit Sharma. Like I know people keep talking about Rohit Sharma, but Mayank Agarwal has been your best opening batsman for 2 years, and just because he had a couple of bad games, I didn't agree with him getting dropped. But I mean, well, that's the team the decision made. So anyway, I mean the decision that the team made. So moving on to the third test match, which, by the way, I think was as big as a win. I think it was a crucial because I think at that point it was kind of like if we had lost that and then gone in with a depleted squad, then it would kind of been like, oh shit, like too much again, blah blah blah. There's no reason we can't even win the series. What's the point? But I think the fact that we fought that out and drew the game was key, and it actually set the game up. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options here. But Kabir, what was your moment of this match?
I feel there are way too many things to list. But I think what swung it, actually what kept us in the game was Rishabh Pant. it was obviously Vihari and Ashwin had that incredible partnership at the end, but that wouldn't have been possible without Rishabh Pant's innings beforehand. I think for them to have to survive however many balls, and well, there were obviously the runs were unsurmountable by the time that
I
those two
don't
came
agree,
in.
by the way, about that runs being unsurmountable. I think if Pant had batted another 5-10 minutes,
No. Okay, I mean, if Pant was there, it would have been fine. But with them two there
Yeah.
in, just Ashwin and Vihari together, it was unsurmountable for them two.
I don't know because Bihari did run and we only
With
lost.
an injured Vihari. With
Yeah,
an
we
injured
Injured Vihari,
Vihari.
yeah.
injured Vihari in that
I think a
situation.
great line that Harsha Vogle used at like T was India has one hand, one leg, and one batsman, one hand, and one hamstring to save this test match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
Because Jaddu had one hand, yeah.
So Noor, for you, what was the key moment of that match?
No, I agree. I think Rishabh Pant's 97, but guys, Pujara, I think he took so many blows to the body, and then Ashwin and Vihari, like these guys got hit repeatedly. Like they're bruised and injured, and like they just stuck out there. I mean, batting for how many odd overs did they bat for?
Those two batted for
Like
45, I think, 40, 45.
45 overs with it. Like Ashwin I know has 4 centuries and stuff, but it's hard. Like his back was hurting and everything. I like Rishabh Pant set the game up, but like all credit to Vihari and Ashwin as well. They fought hard.
Yeah, I think we also have to give credit over here to
Guys, have you
Australia.
ever had yeah.
I
But
think in
have
the
you guys
first
ever
innings,
had fun? Have you guys ever had fun seeing someone defend that much?
no, that was
I've
probably
never
the first
been
time.
more happy with defending in my life.
Yeah, but
I
I
was like,
think
good, yeah, defend, get on the back foot. I was
I
like, yeah.
think we also have to give credit to Steven Smith and Labuschagne because I think they were really good that match. Smith specifically, after having two crap matches, to come out and play like that, 150 was incredible. And I think that was, I mean, he just showed his class to everyone. And also, I think that also what made it good was India's fight backs. Like
Batted.
Payne didn't bat well in that match. He batted well in the first one and the last one. But I think what made it special, even more special, was the fact that India have kept fighting back. They never let like
No,
Australia
didn't he make a
from 160 for two. They made sure that they got them out at 330, and then our batting let us down. But I mean, it was bound to happen at some point. And Rohit Sharma's shot selection left a lot to be desired. But
I don't agree with you on that whatsoever.
we will talk about this at the end when we talk about
I
even the
agree
fourth test match.
with Kabir.
Yeah.
Okay, we will come to this topic when we speak about the fourth test match.
I agree with Kabir. I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just the type of player Rohit Sharma is. If he has the
Yeah.
shots, he should play it. If it doesn't go out,
It's the
it
same
doesn't.
argument
But he
with
is good enough.
Rishabh Pant, right?
Rishabh
It's the same
I don't agree. Firstly, Rishabh Pant gets creamed for doing if he does something like that, he would get roasted like by
Not
everyone.
anymore. That's the thing. Like, obviously, people
And
in
I think
in
Rohit
mainstream
Sharma
media,
needs
but
to
people who actually
understand
know
game
cricket don't think that.
situation. Rohit Sharma is a senior player. You have got yourself in. You are 5 minutes on the close. Why would you play that shot?
Still, it's his process, right? If it works for him when he's batting well, he's going to keep doing that. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. Yes, there's an argument for batting to the situation that you're in, context and all that stuff. Yes, completely understood. But if it's working for him at the time, and you have to back yourself and have full confidence to go with whatever your process is at the time. And this is not, I mean, the mainstream media, NDTV, or whatever, the mainstream media can say what they want to say, right? But the idea is that a lot of the experts are saying, well, this is a process. If it works so often, then why not stick with it?
That's true, but bro, he has an away average
It's
of
risk and
27.
reward.
He has an away average of 27. Obviously, it has not worked for him away.
But if he,
It is starting to work, right? This is something that he's getting better at. Not just, okay, first he's getting better as a test player, right? His
I don't
his
agree,
turns
but
in the
okay.
last 2 years as a test player have gotten better.
Bro, Jayant Yadav has 100 in India. What is your point?
Okay, but Rohit Sharma has more hundreds in India.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not hard for a test batsman to bat in India. The whole point is away.
It's not hard for Indian test batsmen.
Let's see how he plays in England. Yeah, I'm just worried. I'm shitting myself how he plays. When
I'm
he
with
goes to
you. I'm
England.
worried about him opening the batting in England. But from what I
Jimmy
saw in
Anderson
Australia,
and
there
Broad
was
would
some
eat
good.
him for dinner.
I don't know. I think they bowl. I mean, they bowl about 10 kilometers an hour slower than.
Yeah,
the
they also
Australian
move it
opening.
10 10 like
Horizontally,
feet
yeah.
left and right.
That's true.
Oh. Anyway, so yeah, that was the third test match, which was a great draw, great save, I think, by India, and that really set the game up. And I mean, obviously, Payne gave us a great setup for the last test match. Chatted so much shit and then couldn't hold on to his catches, which was just brilliant to watch. But as Payne said, can't wait to get you at the Gabba. So I think the Gabba was where everyone went in. And I mean, I'm sorry, but when you went in with a bowling lineup of Mohammad Siraj with 2 test matches, Saini with 1, Shardul Thakur with less than half a test match, and Washington Sundar and Tina Trajan, I don't think too many people had too much hope. I remember people telling me, honestly, we should just pack our side with batsmen and just play to get to score runs, so that like even if they get 700, we should bat 3 days to get 700, so that we just save the test match. But I mean, I think we were all pleasantly surprised with the draw, with the result, and the fact that I don't know if you guys know this, but it's only the third time in 32 years that the Australian team has gotten bowled out in both innings at the Gabba. At the Gabba, sorry.
Really?
Yeah, at the Gabba. Only the third time
That's
in
a
30.
crazy stat.
Yeah, only the third time. So, and to imagine that we did it with a C grade bowling lineup almost, is
Is
quite.
that because of our bowling lineup, or is that an indictment of their batting?
It's both actually. See, I've had a lot of conversations with people. I think this Australian batting lineup is 2 players. If you get them 3 down early, you can rip through the batting lineup. If you get them,
Yeah.
if you let that 2 down, at 2 down, if you let Labuschagne and Smith make runs, then I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Warner has been off, but I mean, Warner is usually a problem.
But Warner is also injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they definitely need to find some batsmen. They need. I do not think Wade is a Test match batsman.
Will, they lost the kid, right? They lost Will Prokofsky. So
Yeah, so
like
Pakowski is a good. He
Yeah.
looked good. Pakowski and
He did
Warner
look good.
opening the
very, very
batting.
good. He looks
Pakowski
very
and
good.
Warner
at
opening the
that.
batting. And then I think they need to find a number 5. Cameron Green is fine at 6.
Yeah, the Ben McDermott has been looking good for them, and so
What
is Matthew Renshaw.
about? What are your views on the future of Tim Payne?
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, let's talk about captaincy as a whole here, because I think that we saw 2 different sides of how well it can go for a team. With the Ajinkya Rahane coming in as temporary captain, anyway, with him coming as a temporary captain, let's say, and having the success that he's had, and with Tim Payne coming as sort of a more permanent temporary captain, and how his role isn't so much, isn't known for his tactical knowledge, he isn't known for his batting, he's pretty well known for his keeping, and more for being a good statesman. That's the reason he was given the role that he has. In that, he's done a good job, but I think now it's gotten to the point where that sort of healing process has happened, and now it's a more results orientated assessment of his cricket. And now that shift is happening, I think people are starting to find flaws in his game. His batting has been all right. He's I think it's the 3rd highest average for.
He batted better in this Test series than I've ever seen him bat.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But he is picked on his wicket keeping, as are a lot of wicketkeepers. I mean,
I'm sorry, but I think his
for Australia
is very good. This was just an abnormally bad series that he's had.
Yeah, but I completely agree with you. But I think this has to do with his captaincy. I think this sort of adds to his. I mean,
there is a broader point here. There is a broader point here. If you look at the whole situation, because I think I've heard Harsha Bogde talk about this. I've heard a lot of other people talk about this, that his captaincy is a bit defensive when they're even when they're in the top position. Like if you look at day 5 Brisbane, day 5 Gabba. Day 5.
They should have day 4 Gabba. They should.
No, day 5 Sydney, day 5 Gabba. And also like Headingley, when they played that game against with Stokes, I feel like when he's under the pressure on the last day, he just tries too hard either to make things happen, or then he just doesn't, or then he proceeds into his shell. Like on the last day in Gabba, I did not understand. I remember hearing Warren going gaga about this. While Lyon was bowling from the leg, from around the wicket, and bowling into the pass. Like, what are you trying to make happen over here? And then
Yeah,
also there was no for city point to Pujara. Like,
yeah.
what was he doing? So I think his
I
captain
completely agree with
not
you.
to be decided, but I think the only thing for me is who replaces him because they're not going to go back to Smith or Warner. So who's coming
No,
in?
there's gonna be there is no one. I think he is the captain
He
at
has
least
to be
going forward.
captain until Sean is a little more
Either
experienced.
Abhishek or unless they trust and they believe that Cummins can be a proper captain long term
Yeah.
So
because he is vice right
Cummings
now.
is too, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot of. He is their best player apart from Steve Smith
He
and others.
seems like he's a very level-headed guy though.
Yeah, absolutely. But how much more are you gonna burden him?
Ask
He
for
already
someone,
carries
yeah.
that lineup, and he has to
He
bat a
needs
bit. And
a my thing with like I don't like we're talking about Pain, right? So like do you guys remember but like Pain's interview after the third test match when he was like apologizing for his behavior, he said it. He said like we were not getting them out. I got frustrated as a result it's my team. As a result my wicket keeping went to shit. Like obviously it was the pressure captaincy that got to his wicket keeping abilities. So I don't have anything much to say about his wicket keeping ability, with the exception that it was just overall the game situation just messed with his head. Because I think he's a
yeah,
very good wicket keeper otherwise. But my bigger issue with Tim Payne is maybe it's also because we're used to aggressive Australian captains, right? We're used to a Ricky Ponting, even a Smith before. Like I feel like in Australia's attempt to redeem themselves, they've lost aggression and like maybe they need to get back to it. Not obviously don't cheat. No, let's not get the sandpaper out or anything like that. But like you need to get back into a situation where like you're on the fifth day, you have the belief in your bowlers. If you're the best bowling side in the world, you have the belief in your bowlers that you can get them out. Give them the situation, like
I
give
don't
them
think
the field they require. Be aggressive.
I don't think this thing has to do with Australia going back and trying to be nice guys. I think the nice guys thing is more to do with the sledging and all. And I'm okay if they leave the sledging out of it. I think it's a bit overhyped, the sledging.
I'm no, I don't say anything about the sledging, but just the aggressive gameplay. Like why
Their
did
yeah,
you
gameplay is
absolutely.
aggressive enough. I know a lot of people who are saying that, Australia should have declared at 270, 275 in the last test. But I mean, you saw the situation, man. At 275, they could very easily have looked even shittier. At least this way he can say, I didn't declare, I got bowled out. And we still lost. Like if he had declared and then lost, people would have given him so much shit for it.
Ahaan, imagine if they got a wicket in that fourth day.
But I
Like
don't think
that's
that
what
at
I'm
any
saying
point
with
of
the
time
game.
there was it would have been a good idea to declare with 250 runs to score.
Dude, it
There was
was
a full
not
day
that
ahead.
bad a wicket. Yes, okay, some balls were taking off, but it was not that bad that you could declare 270 and
People
get.
were also, guys, to be fair, people were also saying it was going to rain the fifth day. So which
No,
like
the
except
forecaster cleared up. The
You
forecaster
can't
cleared
play.
up.
You can't play for rain. That is just not okay.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it either. But that's what the commentators were saying. I was just giving you like the whole
yeah, I
context
know,
of
I
what
know. But
happened.
Anyway,
even
now
by
that we
then,
have spoken about the Australian side of the fourth Test match, can we talk about the Indian side of the fourth Test match and more specifically, the last day? So I'm gonna give everyone a minute on this. Yeah, Kabir, can you describe your emotions through that last day, and what, who were your, who were your standouts? I mean, it's obvious, but which one
can
of
I
them?
admit something? Can I admit something?
Yeah.
You
So
didn't watch it?
I watched pretty much every hour of the first 4 days. And the fifth day, I watched I watched a grand total of 0 minutes of actual gameplay. I
Why?
woke up in the morning in time for Ahaan's press conference. It was the first day of university, back basically, and the I watched Rahani's press conference. I watched every single bit of highlights. I read every single cricket info piece. I watched pretty much any content that was available after that. But I watched 0 minutes of gameplay in that last day.
That's
Uh,
disgusting. I'm sorry. That is
it is
absolutely
disgusting.
disgusting.
It is disgusting. But I can say that probably it. Look, over the first 4 days, did we win the test match in the first 4 days? No, we didn't. But I was sleeping and I was awake to watch those.
Oh, so
But
basically,
I was
Kabir
sleeping
sleeping
on
won us
that
the
last
Test
day.
match.
I was sleeping on that last day, and we won the test match on that last day. So I'm not going to say it was me, but
Basically, sleep for every India Test match now. Okay.
yeah,
I
I think
think
I
At
think I,
least day five.
every day five, I feel like I'll have to sleep then,
yeah,
just
I
to
think
keep the.
it was a good try, Kabir, but no. Noor, what were your emotions? I got up at 5 on that day to watch that game, bro. It was mad.
I was awake by 5 o'clock. I made everyone who was near me get up and watch the game. My grandfather and I, for the past 5 days, have been waking up at 5 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. At 5 o'clock, we're discussing the game and predicting the day's play. So I was, unlike Kabir, I was very invested on day five. But no, but I think there were two like kinds of the game that was like the greatest. It was right after tea when like Pujara was getting hit everywhere, and
Right after
when
lunch.
Pujara and lunch, right? Pujara and Pant playing, because I was like in test cricket, both of them are playing their natural game, which is completely opposite to each other. I mean, they're all opposites, right? And like, yet they were so in sync at the same time. It was wild, but they were doing what was necessarily while playing their natural game. So I think that portion of seeing Pant counter attacking and Pujara just taking everything to the body, that was wild. And then that little Sundar and Pant partnership at the end, 22 runs, Sundar Pant. When he went for that little scoop shot, I was like, don't do it, don't do it. And then he did it and went for four. This is new India, yeah. They have like the confidence of actually winning the game. They're like, screw it, bro. We're the new generation. We're gonna play for
So
the game.
actually, the day before that game, okay, I was talking to a few people, like a couple of my family, like Mosa and all, who are like much obviously older than us, and they were all like, "We have to play for a draw. We have to play for a draw. We can't do this. Like, come on, you can't let this go." And I was like, "No, why would we play for a draw? If it's sunny tomorrow, we need 320 runs, 100, 100, and 120 in the last session, and you win it like that." And they're like, "No, you're mad. What nonsense? This is just like you shouldn't. This is not how you should be thinking." Anyway, so when I went into the day, I thought 100, 100, 120. I was like, okay, this is a good time. Then our first session, we batted so slowly. We got like 80 runs. I was like, okay, fine. We lost a wicket. We have to make sure that we stay in. Then again, second session, we got 100. I was like, perfect. I told someone 100 is perfect. Then we got to 147 of the last 37 overs of the day with 10 wickets in hand, with 7 wickets in hand. I was like, yeah, but so when Rahane had come out to bat, I knew Rahane. I figured we were playing for the win because that's the way Rahane came out to bat. Like he was clearly trying. He scoring and run a ball, so he was going to play to win. Then I was like, okay, yeah, we can do this. It's still less than 4 and over. But then they let it get to 100. I remember thinking like they were batting so slow and they got it to 100 of 20. And I was like, bro, that's 5 and over on the last day of a test match. What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? And that's what Pujara got out. Someone told me at that time that, this might actually be the perfect time for Pujara to get out if we're going for the win.
Yeah.
Because we have three stroke makers to follow. So 100 or 20 overs with three stroke makers is doable. And I swear, like, I was sitting with my dad watching that part, and he was like, there is no way winning this. It's a draw, 100 or 20 overs, nothing is happening. And then Pant and Agarwal started hitting runs, and like Agarwal smoked one down the ground, I remember. And then Pant was hitting.
Just drive, yeah.
Yeah, and then Pant was in, and then Agarwal got out. I was like, why are you doing this? Like, what are you? You did not need to play that shot. And then it went to, I think when Sundar came out to bat, and I like everyone was like, yeah, Sundar, what a partnership for a second day of the test match and all that. But like, no one expected Sundar to do it again. It's a high pressure situation. Bro, what will
Can I
stay with
just
me
add one
forever?
thing about
One second.
Sundar?
What will
Wait,
stay with me
actually,
forever is when we needed 49. The run rate has crossed 6 and over. Washington Sundar, Pat Cummins, best bowler in the bloody world, number one. Pulls a short ball and Sundar just gets on one leg and whips it for six. I was like, my God, bro, what are you? How do you have this confidence? And then Pant goes and does what he does. It was just what a day, what a time to watch Test match. Like I did not believe it. Even when Pant hit that boundary, I was like, no, this is not just happened. We've not just won this game. Like, what is going on?
yeah. I mean,
But
I woke
guys,
up with
that way,
goosebumps.
yeah. But guys, that way I must say we are like Ravi Shastri's team. Like we're like getting through it. Like that way there is a lot of his character that's rubbed off on this team.
I think for me, I'll tell you just one thing that I wanted to say about the Pant innings is that I think this is a very, 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 very important innings for Rishabh Pant because the thing is he gets maligned so much for his style of play. But I feel now there is a reference point in terms of, okay, just imagine if his stuff comes off, this is what he can do. And this is the kind of influence and impact it can create. So I really think this is massive for him because I think this will now lead to where I think this will also make Virat rate him a lot higher because Virat has always spoken about going for the win in all situations and everything. And now the fact is that they have gone for the win when it looked almost lost, and they went and won it. So I think Pant will be rated a lot higher, and I think people will let go of a lot of flack that he gets. And yeah, that's just it.
I think it'll also remove a lot of sort of the criticism that people have on people on batsmen batting fast in test matches, and also remove a lot of the criticism on batsmen batting slowly in test matches, because people are starting to understand that these things come hand in hand. I know. I think Ahaan had some criticism on how slowly Pujara is batting in the
That was in the
first
third
couple of test
test,
matches.
third test
Third
after the
test.
first innings. I thought that was too slow
Yeah,
on a good batting wicket.
but to have, I mean, I think to have, if you want to have your Gills, your Punts, your Sundars, whoever it is, batting fast, you need to have somebody at the other. And Pujara facilitates these guys to bat the way they do.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
mean, for sure. Like he
and
obviously does, because he gives them this. You know that there's not going to be a collapse on one, and because Pujara is there.
exactly, yeah. I also want to say, I think somebody mentioned that Sundar and Pant had actually batted together. They opened the batting together in the 19 World Cup, and
No,
this
Pant
wasn't
was
the
on
first time.
vacation.
And then whatever, some sort of under-19 tournament. I can't remember, it was the World Cup.
Yeah, they played under 19 together. That I know. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Because Sundar played a few years early for him, for his age.
he played at 16.
Wait,
Exactly.
did he ever he opened with
Yeah, he
Rishabh?
did.
He
They
used to be
used
an
to open
opener. He
together.
used to
I
be an
didn't know
opener.
that.
He
Yeah.
used to be an
So
opener.
they used to open together. So this isn't the first time they've taken apart bowling attacks together. So yeah, I mean, it's just like a cool thing. A few
I think
years
yeah.
along, these
So some of
bowling
those
tests
shots
played
here.
together.
I know we love Pant and all, but I think we also have to
Yeah,
give credit to Gill. Like that
yeah,
was an incredible innings,
yeah,
and I think where it changed,
yeah.
where I think the mindset changed, or like where I believe we could go for a win, is that one over where they played off Stark, and he just went 6, 4,
Yeah.
4, and then Pujara got a 4. Once they got 20 of that
That
over,
looked incredible.
I was like, come on, okay, we can win
Yeah.
this. They're getting 20 of Stark, but come on, let's just be
That.
honest. Who was the bigger letdown, Stark or Lion this series?
Oh my God. This. Yeah. See, this is the thing. I think Lion was awful this series. He way
He
underplayed
bowled
his
well.
level. I don't think he bowled well at all.
I don't think he bowled well either. I agree with you, Kabir. I don't think he bowled.
Yeah, I mean, to get 9 wickets in a series where
And the best is
oftentimes you're batting and you,
before the series, he said that I'm going to get to 400 wickets in this series.
yeah, no, but also to in a series where did he get to bowl in the in the fourth innings 3 times?
2 times. Yeah, 3 times, but the
Two
last
times.
second one doesn't really count. He bowled like 1 over in that innings.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think yeah. I think well, there were issues in Headingley as well, where he didn't show up, and here
And
we
he
have
didn't
that
catch
again. So
balls to run
is it a
out.
theme? I know. Is it a theme? I'm not saying. I don't really think it
But
is.
I think one thing that
I don't
really
know.
needs to be spoken about is Mitch Stark. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's got this reputation of when he's on song, he rips through your team, rips through teams, and when he's not. But I mean, he's had 4 test matches. He probably bowled one good over in the second test match, which got Mayank out. And okay, I think his spell on the last day of day 3 of test match 3, when he bowled the last spell where he was getting into reverse, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he needs to either tighten up, or they need to look at another option like James Pattinson or someone like that, because
Pattinson's a little bit. He's sort of as variant, or has the same sort of variance
I mean they've
as
got
Stark.
Hazelwood and Cummins are like unreal. Their consistency is
Yeah,
incredible. But like,
yeah, and I think I don't know if they really need an enforcer as such anymore, because I feel like Stark might play that role, but they don't really need one anymore because Cummins and Hazelwood both bowl quite fast. In fact, they might need like a Michael Neser or like a um, who else there? I mean, like a Jai Richardson maybe, um, who might fit in better. I know that you lose the left arm variation, but still you have more consistency. So maybe that payoff is something they might have to think about. Yeah, look, I mean, the Gill was dismissive of Stark. It was as if Stark was playing his first test or his first few tests, and Gill had played 50 tests beforehand.
yeah, I think, but for me, I think Stark actually gave India the momentum because he gave so many boundary balls and gave us the opportunity to hit. Okay, anyway,
Yeah.
now that we have discussed all the test matches individually.
Can I know one more thing? Just one more thing. We mentioned Shastri. I think somebody who we haven't mentioned is Rahul Dravid.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure. He deserves so much credit.
I think a lot of the credit for our win here goes down to Rahul Dravid and the fact that he's created a system where we have players like Sundar, like Saini, like Siraj, like Gill, who've come through the U19 setup, through the NCA, through India A teams, played so much high-level cricket in India A and U19 that this allows them to succeed at the test level, ODI level, T20 level, whatever it is, but basically at the representative level for India at the highest level. And yeah, I mean, I think without that effort, without him, without the system he's put into place, we wouldn't have won the series and we wouldn't be where we are in world cricket now.
Yeah, and I think the fact that what he has done, it's really, I don't know, it's given us so much depth. Like people like Siraj, Saini, all these guys, they've really, I don't know, they've really like put in some squad depth, and I think they're going to push. They're going to push the top three. It's not going to be easy anymore. Like for Ishant, Shami, and Bumrah. And I think Noor has left us, so it's just you and me talking now. But I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, there we go. So moving on. Yeah, now that we've spoken about the whole like test match series, we'll wait for Noor to join and we can include her in the conversation. But I think let's have some quick conversation, right? So first up, player of the series overall.
This is controversial. I mean, I think Mohammad Siraj.
For me, it's Pat Cummins. I think Pat Cummins.
Okay, so in that sense, okay, yeah, no, as an actual, okay, yeah, sorry, as an actual player, the best player in the whole series was Pat Cummins. Yes,
I think it was unreal. His bowling was special.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think
India's best player of the series.
I'm gonna say apart from Pujara because I know Pujara was like I think without Pujara we wouldn't.
You think Pujara?
I think we wouldn't have even been in a position to win. I think like he facilitates our wins. That's kind of how it works. He's like Ozil in his prime, sort of assisting our best players to score essentially. But without Siraj leading the bowling attack that he did with the skill that he did, especially such an inexperienced bowling attack right at the end, and sort of having that grit and perseverance, and really embodying that, our bowling attack would be rubbish basically in that last test.
Okay. No, I mean, yeah, Siraj, fair, but I have big respect for Siraj. Because I think what he's done is unprecedented. Like to also think about that he's literally, his father died at the beginning of the series. He got so much hate in the IPL. Then he got racially abused at Sydney, and about that also. I feel that was completely disgusting. Like you should not be doing that in today's day and age.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I think Siraj deserves a lot of praise, a lot of credit, and I think he's going to have a long test career. I don't know about other formats, but test career, definitely he's going to have.
Yeah.
Okay, for you, for me, it was Pant, the man of the series for India, because he has won us a test match. He played a big role in saving one. And I cannot understand why the man did not play at the beginning in the first test match. But I mean,
people are still thinking. People still have these antiquated ideas that wicketkeeping is better than.
I will see. I actually am going to be very interested to see what they do in India in the series against England, because I mean, there's the whole till now the whole thing has been that Pant will keep away and Saha will keep at home. But now you can't drop Pant after an innings like a series like this. Like he can play as a pure bat, and where are they going to now play Saha as a keeper, or are they going to just play Pant and trust him to keep against the spin? I don't know.
I think our batting lineup is so strong when we play in India. I think I don't think anybody really stands a chance. I think we can afford to play Pant. I think it will be costly in terms of buys and stuff. But I think sort of net, it's a positive to have Pant in the team even as a keeper.
I'll be honest. I don't trust him to keep.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
Ashwin and
I'm quite
Jadeja
free.
on ranked turners. It's not something I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to watching, but I do want him to bat in India on ranked turners. So,
yeah. I think maybe they'll play Saha as a wicketkeeper at
but the problem
7
is, I was talking
or
to
8
someone
and
recently that
have Pant at 5.
I, if you look at the team now, firstly, how do you tell people after like how do you tell people like Shardul Thakur and like Sundar, like sorry, you're not playing the next test match. Like what? You just won us a test match in Brisbane. How can you do
Is
that?
Shardul Thakur? I have another question though. Is Shardul Thakur more a replacement for Hardik Pandya, or
So
is he
that's what I
a
think that is now after what he has done. I think people are going to start looking at that. That Hardik Pandya, Shardul
yeah?
Thakur are basically. Bro, okay, I got to admit this. Yeah, before the test match, I was like, why is Shardul Thakur playing? He's crap. Like I have
I
never
agree
seen
with you.
Shardul Thakur.
I
Like, what?
s-
He took
yeah,
7 wickets. He got like 60. Bro, what he had this one shot of Stark or someone rising
yeah,
ball outside off stump, and he creamed it through like covers. I was like, bro, what is this? This is not
yeah,
Shardul Thakur. This is like I can't even.
yeah. I think like even Siraj, like guys who kind of have been jokes at times. Shardul Thakur, Siraj. Have been. I mean, Pant. They've all been mocked for
I think that
some
just
of the
shows you that
cricket
you
they play.
can't judge players on their IPL form because that's where they
Of
get
course, you
more.
can't. I think this is like sort of getting people to understand that it's cricket is so there has so many dimensions to it, and there's so much nuance to it. You can't make a decision on someone so early or based on performances that are completely out of context on a completely different situation.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that is key, and I think hopefully now we don't judge people on IPL form. And I don't know. I just feel like now we have so much option. Like for me, if I was, I mean, we talk about this in the England when we do the England preview, but I think we definitely we'll need to see what the team balance is like, and Hardik Pandya is back for that as well. So let's see what they do over there.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. I don't know if maybe he can bowl. Maybe
I
that's
will
why. I don't know.
honestly be very disappointed if we don't reach the levels of Australia 2000 with this kind of a team. And looking at what the
Yeah,
world around us, looking at the level of the teams around us, I think the series in England is big. We have to win it.
yeah. I also think so. I think after seeing this, I think if we don't win in England, that would be a massive disappointment.
Yeah, and I mean, they're not even good, man. They're like
Yeah,
an
exactly. They're
average
kind of
team.
rubbish. Yeah. I think they've been good in Sri Lanka, but Sri Lanka, as we know, is declining as a cricket team. Um, they barely have
Even
fast
there, they
bowlers to
barely won, bro. They were 14 for 3 in the last innings.
yeah, no, I think they won that quite convincingly.
Yeah, I mean, it was one innings, bro. You get that man out, and there's not much around him.
It's true. It's not
But
unlike the Australian batting lineup.
yeah, but Benny's going to be back for India. So let's see.
Yeah,
Uh,
still, I don't know how effective he'll be when you have Ashwin and Jadeja spinning up a web.
let's see.
Not that can Jadeja play? I don't know if Jadeja will be able
No,
to play.
Jadeja's out the whole series. It's going to be
Yeah, it doesn't
Akshar
matter. We'll play
Patel,
somebody else.
Akshar Patel,
Akshay Patel.
Kuldeep
Yeah,
Yadav,
it's fine.
Washington
Anybody can play.
Sundar.
Literally anybody can play. You can have
Yeah,
Nadeem play if you want. You can have like
Nadeem's
bring
back up.
anybody up.
Avesh
Bring
Khan
Amit
is
Mishra
back
back
up.
up. Bring Amit Mishra back up. He'll play. It does make a difference, really.
Fair enough. Okay,
Yeah,
so I think that's about it. Reviewing the series,
that is it.
great series. I think that's the best series that I have ever watched in Test match cricket. A lot of people are
Yeah,
saying, like, I was asking my dad, is this better or as good as 2001 Australia when we won following on? And I think it's divided opinion. Some people say 2001 was better. Some people are saying this is better. I don't know. I didn't watch 2001. I only saw it in Kai Poche, so I can't really comment on it.
yeah.
But yeah,
How
happy
old were you
birthday,
in
by the way,
2001, Ahaan?
Kabir. Happy birthday, Kabir, because this is
Thank
releasing
you.
on your
Tomorrow
birthday. So happy
it will be.
birthday.
Yes. Thank you.
You guys can send in your wishes on his DMs and whatnot.
Yeah, sliding my DMs,
Not that
everyone.
he's going to reply to them. He's got
Yeah, maybe.
he's got more important things to focus on his
That's
birthday.
also true.
Um, but yeah, especially people who are with him. Anyway.
Yeah.
We will be back now. I don't know when we'll be back. What comes first, the England tour or the IPL auction? Because you have to preview that also.
IPL auction is
11th.
not soon. Yeah, it's on the 11th. Yeah.
England starts on the 6th. Yeah. So we will be back with the
Exactly,
England
yeah.
series test preview. So see you
Yeah.
guys then. Bye.
Yeah. Peace out.